Hi, Emerton families. My name is Jen Selke, and I am the reading specialist here at Emerton Elementary School. We are so proud of the progress that our students have been making in reading and writing. They have learned so many new phonics skills, which help them be able to read and spell words more accurately. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about something called Summer Slide. If you've never heard of it before, it's exactly as it sounds. Some kids throughout the summer, without any practice at all, tend to slide backwards academically, meaning they come to us in the fall with less knowledge than they left us in the spring. So I wanted to create a resource for your little learner to practice at home so that they can just help retain all of the phonics skills that they've learned. So when they come back next year, they're ready to start with fresh new skills and continue to grow as readers and writers. These activities are not meant to take long. I know it's summer. We all need a break, and it's meant to be fun and easy. But these few activities will really help your child retain what they've learned so that they're ready to start fresh next year. So, your little learner will come home with a packet that looks like this. This is a packet from first grade, but the packet for kindergarten and the packet for second grade are all set up in similar fashion. So basically, there's two parts to each page. On one side, there's something called a word work chain, and on the other side is a decodable text. And a decodable text just means that majority of the words these students can read using their phonics knowledge. So I'm going to explain what this looks like, okay? And again, it's not meant to take a long time each day. You can do it one day, or you can split and do the word chain one day and the decodable text another day. It should only just be a few minutes a couple times a week. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. If you want to do the whole thing on one day, it should probably take 15 minutes at the most. Kids can always come back and reread. If you notice your child struggling with some of the passages because the skills will get harder throughout the packet, then you can always sit and read with your child and then have them reread the passage to you and really practice rereading and rereading to make their voice sound nice and smooth, which will help improve their fluency, which is how they sound as a reader. So that's the decodable passage. I want to just show you and model for you what the word chain can look like. It's kind of scripted for you. So it'll tell you exactly what to say for the first one, and then for the second one, you can just make up your own. But once you do it a few times, you can get really comfortable. So this can be done on a piece of paper, on a dry erase board, Post-it note, whatever you have laying around the house. I have a dry erase board with a marker, so I'm going to just show you what that looks like, and what you would sound like as a person giving the directions, and what the student, your little learner, should sound like as they're spelling the words. So I'm just going to read it as it is. The very first one, again, it will give you the directions for the first one, and then you'll have to come up with your own directions for the second one. So if you just want to do the first one and you feel like that's enough for your child, that's fine. Any little practice that your child can have will just help them retain all that they've learned. So I'm just going to read it, and then you can kind of see how I sound versus what I'm doing on my board. So you just start with number one, and you just say, make the word flag. And you're going to want to encourage your little reader and speller to really sound out that word. It's called segmenting, so that they can hear each sound. So if I said spell the word flag, you would want to remind your child to tap those sounds out. Flag. And then they can spell. I always recommend that students resound as they're spelling. So it would sound like this. Flag. And then they can show you. And then it'll say, you're going to change the G to P. It says the letter, but instead of saying change G to P, I always like doing the sound. Change G to P. So then they should resound. And then they can show you. And then it says change flap to slap. So then they need to think about which letter they're going to change. Flap to slap. And then again, they can show. And then the last one, again, it has the letters, but I always like to do the sound instead of the letter name. So instead of saying change S to C, you would say change S to KL. I'm sorry, did that wrong. Change S to K. So then they're going to sound again. K, L, A, P. And then you'd say, what is this word? And they would say clap. And then I would recommend that they go back and just reread each word. Flag, flap, slap, clap. And you can see that I'm sliding through each sound to make it sound very smooth. It's very simple. So if you want to do the second example, you just have to change one sound. So it goes from land to sand to hand to band. So you could just do spell land, change L to S, change S to H, change H to B. And then you can have them reread those words. So it's very simple, even if the directions aren't written out for you. So again, just to recap, this packet is meant to help your little learner avoid the summer slide so that they can retain all of the phonics skills they've learned to help them become successful readers and spellers and be ready to start with new skills next year. On one side, you have a decodable text where they can use their phonics knowledge to decode any unknown words. You're going to want them to reread this as many times as you can throughout the summer to help with that fluency piece. Their first read might be really choppy because they're working hard to sound out words. So then you want to encourage them to reread so that their voice sounds nice and smooth so that they're able to remember what they've read. And then the second part is this word work chain where they're working on their spelling. And again, you can do this on a piece of paper, Post-it, dry erase board, and you're just going to change one sound to make new words. Remind them to sound so that they can hear each individual sound, and then have them reread the words at the very end. Here's the exciting part. Once your little learner has completed both the word work chain and the decodable text, you'll initial as the parent or guardian here. There are 2 activities per week, and then I did a total of 14 weeks. So if your little learner completes the whole packet and they have your initial on each page, they can bring this back at the very beginning of the year, and anyone that completed the entire packet will be invited for a Freezy Pop celebration. So not only will they get to enjoy something cold and yummy and delicious with their friends, but they can feel really happy and proud of themselves for completing it and helping them retain everything that they've learned this year. It's really simple. You lose what you don't use. So anything small that we can do to help them retain all that they've learned is a bonus. In the meantime, have a wonderful summer. Have fun. Enjoy the break. And I cannot wait to see all of you and your children back next year. Bye, everyone.